They went to Ellis Park and silenced the world champions. It was hailed as a masterpiece, the dawn of a new Wallabies era. They looked unstoppable. So what happened? How do you go from beating the best in the world to losing 4 of your last 5 games? The stats reveal a team with an elite foundation, boasting a perfect 100% scrum success, but crippled by a broken lineout and shocking lapses in discipline. Today, we're dissecting the Wallabies campaign. We're exposing the critical weaknesses their rivals exploited and the exact changes they must make before they head up north. Welcome back to Rugby from the Stands. This is episode 2 of our 4-part series reviewing the 2025 Rugby Championship. Same deal as our Argentina review. I'm giving you the analysis the coaching room actually hears. We are moving past the highlights and into the data that drives high performance. Today, it's Australia. New Zealand is next, followed by the world champions, South Africa. All right, the verdict on the Wallabies. The record is 2 wins, 4 losses, third on the table. 152 points for, 165 against, a negative 13 differential. They scored 21 tries, tied for second in the tournament. They started with that statement win, 38-22 away to South Africa in round 1, and a solid win over Argentina in round 3. But they dropped 2 narrow losses and were handled by New Zealand in the final 2 rounds. So what's the grade? I've given them a B-. This is a B- team with A- potential. Why? The scrum is elite, 100% success. The attack creates volume. They were first in carries and second in meters gained, and they have genuine strike players. The potential for a B+ or A- profile is clearly there, but the drag factors are significant. Lineout accuracy is the worst in the competition. Red zone conversion is volatile, and discipline collapsed under pressure. Fix those, and this team contends. Let's look at the macro view of how they played. Ball in hand, they want to play. 741 carries, the highest in the competition, and over 2,500 meters gained, second in the competition. Chance creation is not the problem. They also use offloads, 43, to keep the ball alive. The set piece is the story of the season. The 100% success gave them a rock-solid foundation, but the 82.9% line-out, which is the worst in the competition, completely blunted their attacking launch and neutralized any maul options. This is the fundamental constraint on their performance. Defense is fascinating. The macro number looks fine, 86% tackle completion, joint first, but that average hides critical spikes. In both All Blacks games, that standard created 40 missed tackles at Eden Park and 29 in Perth. When the pressure and tempo increased, the defense fractured. And the individuals? Swali'i with 4 tries, Jorgensen with 267 meters and 17 defenders beaten, James O'Connor managing the scoreboard with 32 points, and Fraser McReight with 86 tackles. That's a good spine. We need to focus on the KPIs that actually dictated the results. Number 1, 22-meter conversion, or PPE. This was volatile. In their wins, they delivered elite PPE, 3.45 in round 1 and 4.67 in round 3. In losses, it dipped drastically, like 2.0 in round 6, or sometimes the PPE was great, but they didn't get enough entries. At Eden Park in round 5, they had 4.0 PPE, but only 6 entries. Number 2, lineout efficiency. They're the lowest in the competition with 82.9%. The floor was that disastrous 67% in the final game against New Zealand. Number 3, collision and tackle spikes. As mentioned, the 40 missed tackles at Eden Park were match-defining. Number 4, discipline and leverage. The round 4 loss to Argentina is the lesson here. Australia conceded 14 penalties to Argentina's 7. They dominated collisions 24-5 and still lost. Let's put these KPIs into the context of the games. Round 1 in Joburg, a strange game. You didn't own the first hour. South Africa actually led for 63 minutes, but your red zone was ruthless. PPE of 3.45, 14 line breaks, and critically, only 4 penalties conceded. That second half spike is your template for scoreboard pressure. Keep calm, finish hard. Round 2 in Cape Town. This flips. You had more entries, 8 versus 6, but lower PPE, 2.38 versus 3.5 for the box. And you conceded a late yellow card. And that potentially cost the game. So good territory, poor conversion. In round 3 in Townsville, almost a heist against you. You trailed for 62 minutes. You had fewer entries, 6 versus Argentina 7, but you posted a massive 4.67 PPE and completely hoarded the ball. 98% possession in the last 10 minutes, and you managed to close it out. Gutsy, but risky. Round 4 in Sydney. This is the one that hurts. You were the more violent team. You dominated. Dominant tackles 24-5. Your PPE was 3.71, but indiscipline affected you. 14 penalties and a yellow. You gifted them too many opportunities. That's controllable. Round 5 at Eden Park. Better finishing. You had a PPE of 4.0, but not enough opportunities. You only had 6 entries versus New Zealand's 9. And the defense failed the physical test. 40 missed tackles is fatal here. Final round in Perth. This is the fix list right here. Lineout at 67%. 2 yellow cards, only 4 entries. Tough to win when your launch pad misfires that badly. So let's look at the performance review. What do we start? What do we stop? What do we do more of? What do we do less of? And what do we maintain or sustain? All right, let's translate this data into the action plan using that 5-lever framework. Let's start off with the things that we want to start. Number 1, line out clarity and maul intent. We need a 2-caller system. 1 fast for tempo ball, which is the front and the middle, and 1 power, back ball plus maul. Add 2 pre-planned maul to strike calls per half. We want to target more than 90% success on tour. The second thing we want to start is the entries engine. In the New Zealand matches, we finished well but didn't get into the 22 enough. We must start scripting ways to win territory, 1 50-22 look per quarter, and targeted contestable kicks early in the match, especially minutes 10 to 20. The third thing we need to start doing is edge D ownership. Eden Park's 40 misses lived on the edges. We need to install a 13-channel no-fold call for moments after long kicks and drill the half-back fold and back row plug. Now let's move on to the things we want to stop or eradicate critical failures. Number 1, stop penalty leakage in the middle third. The round 4 loss was 14 penalties. That proves that this is absolutely critical. You need to set a hard cap, less than 10 penalties per match. Inside our own half, we need to stop attempting high-risk poachers after 2 quick phases. The second thing we need to stop is overcomplicating the 22. When our PPE dipped in round 2 and round 6, we looked for 1 touch too many. In the 22, run the 3-phase menu, that is 2 carries plus the strike. But if we don't score, take the 3 unless we have advantage. What are the things that we need to do more of? More early touches for Jorgensen and Swali'i. They are our finishers. Jorgensen has 267 meters and 17 defenders beaten, and Swali'i had 4 tries. So give them more ball. We need a first set touch for them each half and a line-out starter to isolate the 13 wing channels. Secondly, we need more Fraser McRae timing at the breakdown. He had 86 tackles and he was being a menace. So we need more impact by pairing him with a designated clean-outs player to avoid the isolations that drew penalties in round 4. What are some of the things we need to do less of? Less low-value offloads inside our 40. We are third in offloads with 43 offloads in the tournament. So keep the weapon, but trim the ones that put us back under pressure, as seen early in round 1 and during the round 5 chase. What are things we need to sustain? The first thing to sustain is scrum parity at 100%. This is a scoreboard lever. We need to now potentially up our scrum game because we were good at, meeting parity with other teams, especially with South Africa and New Zealand. But we need to start using it as a weapon, just like how South Africa does. So let's try and milk penalties, kick to touch, then cash them in with the repaired line out. Number 2, tackle percentage standard. 86% overall is good. We need to keep maintaining that or improving on that. Number 3, what are the things we need to sustain? Number 3 is carry volume and shape. 741 carries is our identity. Keep it, but add more purpose in the 22. So, what's our Northern Tour action plan? How do we implement this practically before we head north? First, we publish the targets with the team. These are the benchmarks for the tour. Number one, lineout has to be more than 90%. Entries has to be more than 8. PPE has to be more than 3.2. Penalties less than 10. Yellow cards, 0 yellow cards. Missed tackles less than 18, and scrum success more than 95, or maintain that 100% that we have been maintaining so far. Second, the drill block. This is what we focus on in training. First, the 5-call line-out ladder. You've got front, mid, back, plus 2 maul shifts. And this needs to lead into maul to strike decision drills. Train it until it's boring. Number 2, the 22-meter 3-phase finish. Carry, carry, strike. Timed rucks under 3.5 seconds. Live whistle if we aren't inside the post by phase 3. Number 3, the HD reload. Long kick return simulation, focusing on the 13-channel no fold, halfback fold, and back row plug. Again, repetition until muscle memory. 4, entries engine, 50-22 reps, and contestable kick chase lane discipline. Finally, selection notes. We must bench a lineout specialist, hooker plus lifter, pair to protect late game lineouts. That's the lesson from Perth. And we keep James O'Connor as the scoreboard metronome. Take the 3 when PPE stalls. If you and I were signing off in the team room, the message is clear. We're not far off. We need to get the lineout right, control the penalty count, and manufacture 2 more entries per half. And this is a very different tournament result. The B- stands, but the A is within reach. Episode 3 is New Zealand. We'll contrast their entry profile against Australia's and dig into why they created entries almost at will against the Wallabies, and how their own PPE wobbled in their loss to Argentina. If you want the Coach's Room view every week, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching Rugby from the Stands.